They call me Dan, the Lakers fan. And I got a master plan for the Lakers back to the promised land. Spread the vision through my people, cause we fans are equal. When we reach 20K subs, yeah, we gon' drop a sequel. Another Laker anthem track, watch me run it back. Got the keys to the city where my Laker jet.
What up, Laker family? It's your boy DTLF back with another video. Man, thank you all for being here today, guys. Very exciting time to be a Laker fan as always, but even more exciting after the trade we just made. We got plenty of updates with the roster, injury updates, including one crucial one to Vando. We're gonna the latest trade rumor regarding the Lakers and what moves they're gonna do moving forward, and a birthday king. Shall we start there? LeBron James, ladies and gentlemen. LeBron James has just turned 40 years of age. 40. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to the king. Happy birthday to the king. Let me tell y'all something, man. To be playing at the level that King James has played at. Matter of fact, let me look up LeBron's stats. To be playing at the level LeBron James has played at for this long, okay? Whether you like him or not, doesn't matter. You have to respect it. You have to respect what LeBron James has done for this long. 40 years old. Talking about a young kid who came into the game very young. How old was he? 18 when he first came in the league? Fresh out of high school. LeBron James, man, this season is averaging 23, right? Matching his jersey number. Points per game. Shooting 49% from the field and 35% from beyond the arc. And he has 9 assists and 8 rebounds to go with that. My goodness, man. I can't believe it. This is his birthday already. He just turned 40. Sorry, I was about to say 30. He just turned 40, and just what a great accomplishment. I mean, there's only ever going to be one of one in LeBron James, man. And we're never going to see the type of athlete that he has became over the course of his career. Again, I don't think that'll ever be duplicated in any sport. What sport do you guys know that has a basketball player still playing in the prime of his career at the age of 40 after putting in, what, 22 years, 21, 22 years? 22 years. That is absolutely insane. And so, again, man, we got to commend LeBron James on his career. So, first of all, I wanted to start with that. Also, he gave us a little insight about the end of his career. And this is what he had to say. He says, I think that's the plan to end the career with the Lakers, right? He says, I would love to end it here. I came here to finish the last stage of my career and to finish it off here. He said, hopefully I don't have to go nowhere before my career is over. So that's just a little nugget about LeBron James and just how he's thinking right now. What up, Solo? What's up, everybody? Welcome. So, yeah, also he went on to say that if he wanted to, all right, this is his quote. And I quote, I could play 5 to 7 more years if I really wanted to, but I won't do that. That's what he said. So I want to ask the chat. I want you guys to get involved here. How much longer do you guys think LeBron James has? I honestly think if this ain't his last year, I think next year for sure is going to be his last year, for sure. So how much longer does the birthday boy have, not just with the Lakers, but in his career, right? That is the question. JTB, I hope to get him in here soon, man. We've been in contact. We've been texting back and forth. He's been busy with the holidays and his family. Understandable. You know, they went to visit him overseas. So very understandable. But, yeah, whenever he's ready, you know, this platform is his and mine's now. So, yeah, definitely would love to have him on here for the next podcast episode. So very, very excited for that potentially. Let's see here. 2 years at most. Oh, no, don't give me the at most cop-out answer, KJ. How many years do you predict he's going to play? I say 1 more season max. That's it, 1. All right. The way he was looking earlier in the year, it was looking like this was his last year, but he took a little bit of a break, and he looks rejuvenated now. So I think 1 more year after this one, and that's it. That's for me. But 2 years is decent. I mean, that is a decent conclusion to his career. I mean, he'd be essentially playing out the contract all the way through. But are you guys including this year as well in your predictions? All right, and not including this year. How many more years are left in his contract? Not including this year. I say 1 more after this. But that's just me. All right. Let's see here. I'll take a couple comments. If we win a chip, he will retire after this season. That's what my thoughts were initially, bro, was that he had one more year left. And I do agree that if he wins the chip, what better way to write off than into the win? What's up, KD? Than into the win with a championship ring, right? But the fact that he says he could play 5 to 7 more years, I think is very intriguing. It tells me that he's feeling good right now, at least right now. He might not feel this way by the end of the season or the playoffs or whatever. But yeah, I think a lot of things are going to factor into this. All right, I got a very good update for you guys. You guys want to hear it? You guys ready? Hit that like button if you already haven't for your boy, man. Gabe Vincent, hip, did not practice today per JJ Redick. Now, Redick added that Jackson Hayes' ankle is probable to play for the first time since late November. Now, here's the good news. Jared Vanderbilt, ladies and gentlemen. Jared Vanderbilt, foot injuries, right? Also participated in non-contact portion of practice. Jared, yeah, the legend, the man, the myth, the one who hasn't played in a long time, is finally practicing, which means he could be back real soon. Cue the clap. Cue the claps. I forgot how he played. That's how long he's been with Jared Vanderbilt. I completely forgot how the Vandalorian plays. I'm just kidding. I didn't forget. But, yeah, we're going to get him back hopefully at some point early next year in January. That's my hope. Now, here's what I find interesting, and correct me if I'm wrong here. We just traded for a 3-and-D wing yesterday. He already lost his starting spot to Rui. We're going to update you guys on what JJ Redick plans on starting moving forward in a bit. But hear me out. The Lakers trade for a big wing who's a shooter, and all of a sudden, his gout isn't acting up. Like, come on now. All of a sudden, my man Vando got a sense of urgency to come back and do what he's got to do. I don't know. I don't know if it's a good thing or if it's just he was just chilling way too much. But I think this Dorian Finney-Smith trade lit a fire under a couple of these role players. We might see Christian Wood back real soon. But what do you guys think of that? Am I reaching? Or not? That's what I want to know. Because at the end of the day, I'll tell y'all this, man. It's very weird that all of a sudden, okay, it's one day after we traded for Dorian Finney-Smith, bam, Jared Vanderbilt is back on the court. Come on now. Talk to me, chat. That's something I find really funny, and I hope that it wasn't that. I hope it's just good timing, and we're about to get everybody back soon. But, yeah, again, I have an update on that, and that is that Vando got his first non-contact practice in of the year. Okay, now, JJ says that he hopes Shake Milton and Dorian Finney-Smith will play tomorrow, depending on the physicals, assuming everybody passed their physicals and all is good. But he plans to for Dorian Finney-Smith, to play tomorrow with Shake Milton. So that is even more good news. We might get him back real soon, ladies and gentlemen. Real freaking soon. How y'all feel about that? Tomorrow, as a matter of fact, it's going to be an early New Year's gift for all you guys, man. On New Year's Eve, we're going to get to see most likely Dorian Finney-Smith and Shake Milton. Now, check this out. I love Dorian Finney-Smith's mindset already. This is what Dorian Finney-Smith had to say today at his first little press conference with the Lakers. So first of all, he said he's really happy to join. You can see it visibly. Both him and Shake Milton are all smiles. And he mentioned that he wants to bring his intensity and winning mentality to LA. He says today was the most he has ever spoken to LeBron James, despite guarding him for the last 9 years, because Dorian Finney-Smith doesn't like to talk to opponents, ladies and gentlemen. He does not like to talk to opponents. How do we feel about that? Well, I'll tell you how I feel about that. That's how I feel about that shit. Matter of fact, let me turn it up. Let me turn that up. Because you know what? I like a defensive-minded player that's coming in here and he's not trying to be everybody's friend, right? That's why we traded for him. This kid has the mentality. He is a scrapper. He is an absolute scrapper. So I personally, I hear this and it's music to my ears. I've always been a fan of Dorian Finney-Smith. And that's the mindset we love as basketball fans. And if you notice, the NBA, they starting to toughen up a little bit. You're starting to see more fights. Just yesterday, Tyler Hero was turned into Tyler Zero when he got swung across the court And he by Amen Thompson. I think it's Amen, right? It's not Armin. I always mix them up. Amen Thompson swung him across the court, and that was very interesting. I mean, the NBA is starting to spice up a little bit. Maybe they want to get the ratings back up. I don't know. I don't know what it could be. Let's see here. Couple questions. Let's see. KD says, who is the odd man out? And if and when everybody gets back. I'm going to get right into that. I'm glad you asked, KD. Because you know what? JJ is going to have both Dorian Finney-Smith and Shake Milton coming off the bench right off the top. And what do I think of that? I'm not surprised. I said it the other night when I was on my boy Seven's podcast. And I said it. I do believe that they're going to come off the bench to start because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. JJ's smart enough to know that, right? JJ is smart enough to know that. So this is what JJ had to say about the situation. So JJ on changing the starting five, he says, I want consistency with that group, but I'm not going to be stubborn and lock into something if it's not working. But it's working right now, and Dorian Finney-Smith is a guy that can fit easily with any lineup, okay? JJ said that he's sticking with the current starting lineup of Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Rui Hachimura, Max Christie, and Austin Reeves. He already spoke with Dorian Finney-Smith and told him he'll be coming off the bench. He said he'll continue to evaluate the starting group, however. So I find that extremely interesting. Why? Because I told you guys this the other night. I wouldn't be shocked if this is going to be put in place to light a fire under Rui. Like, Rui, this is the ultimate message. Like, now you got Vando starting to ramp up, getting ready to come back, and you got Dorian Finney-Smith, who to me trumps both of those wings. And it's like, if you don't do your job full time, you might lose your starting job to Dorian Finney-Smith. So this is the best thing that could have happened for all parties involved. Not to mention, can you imagine the wing versatility and all the different combinations we could throw out there with defenders like Max Christie, Cam Reddish, Dorian Finney-Smith, Vando when he comes back, assuming he's healthy, Rui with his size, and even LeBron when he actually wants to play defense, he actually tries, especially down the stretch of games. So again, we're going to have tons of versatility and so many things we can mix and match and different toys to play with that the coaching staff is going to play with. Hey, what's up, CJ? Good to see you, bro. Good to see all of you guys in here. I know everybody's excited right now. I know everybody's like, you got to be excited because you know what? Lakers made the trade that they needed, but they might not be done. I do have an update by the end of this video for you guys, and it supports some of the videos I put out yesterday. So if you already haven't, please hit the like button, subscribe, guys. I got you guys covered from end to end, 365 days a year. If anything breaks, you know where to find me. So those are the updates on them. Finney-Smith and my guy, Shake Milton. Sorry. Shake Milton and Dorian Finney-Smith should be able to play tomorrow, assuming they pass their physicals. They will be coming off the bench. We know that now. But again, there's no surprise there, if I'm being honest. Now, here is the assessment that Dorian Finney-Smith had for himself on his versatility. And this is how you know he's a high basketball IQ player, right? As a matter of fact, credit to Mike Trudell. All right, let me go ahead and pull up the actual quote so you guys can see it with me here on the screen. So Mike Trudell reporting about Dorian Finney-Smith and his versatility says, when they do want me to play small ball, they got that option. He said, I can pick and pop, spread the floor so guys can get in the lane. He said he can pull the big man out of the paint. That's what we did if teams put centers on me. We got a bunch of different options, okay? So that's Dorian Finney-Smith and what he had to say about how he expects the Lakers to utilize him. Now, here's my favorite quote of the day right here. And this wasn't reported by Mike Trudell. He said, if you played in Brooklyn, you know what it means. He said, you don't want to be the little brother in the city. He said, I'm finally with the big brother. It feels good. So my guy Dorian Finney-Smith already a fan favorite, man. He's out here pulling punches and he's out here taking shots at the Clippers. You got to love that. You got to love that. He knows what it means to be with the big ball club now, and he knows that the expectation is to win championships here. And, again, very high IQ player on both ends of the floor. So I'm loving everything I'm hearing so far. The excitement is immaculate. All good right now. But it's early. We still have to incorporate these players. Let's not forget. Now, this is what Shake Milton had to say about being a playmaker off the bench. He said, And I quote, he said, I definitely do, whether it means me bringing the ball, attacking the paint, creating for myself or others, or whether it's me spotting up and shooting threes, I'm going to do whatever the team needs me to do. And you know what? I think that's a perfect assessment of who Shake Milton is. He is a player that does anything the team needs him to do, whether that's picking up full court or whether that's fighting through screens or whatever it is. He's going to do it. And so, again, credit to Shake because he's that type of player. Now, this is his scouting report. This is Shake Milton's scouting report on his teammate, Dorian Finney-Smith. He said, first of all, he's just a tough, hard-nosed guy, a long defender. He can shoot the three. He's a real glue guy. He's the type of guy you want to go to war with. He said, I think that's going to translate the right way. So, again, these guys, I think, doing a perfect job of, of describing what they bring to the table. That's exactly what they bring. These are tough-nosed players, role players that are ready to contribute anywhere. These are the type of players that you can plug in and play on any system. It doesn't matter if it's Golden State, the Lakers, Boston, God forbid, but Boston, New York, they just fit. They just fit. And, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. What else? Let's see here. I'm ready to see both Shake Milton and Dorian Finney-Smith. Bro, you don't have to wait much longer because that's going to be tomorrow. That's going to be tomorrow. All right. We get to see them tomorrow, assuming they pass their physicals and all. My guy D Free, what's up, brother? He said Dorian Finney-Smith is more of a 4-5 than a 3-4 now. They'll absolutely play small ball with him at the 5. He's played a lot of 5 the last couple of years. Well, he's one of the players that have actually done it successfully, so I wouldn't be too mad about it. I'm still not a fan of the small ball. We still need to back up big, that's for sure. So it's awesome, man. It's just exciting to see all the different options we're going to have. My guy Diehard says Shake Milton is going to surprise the casuals. Ironically, his career high is against us. I remember when he killed us, bro. That wasn't too long ago either. Yeah, Shake Milton's the real deal. I've been a fan of his since he was in Detroit, Philly. He's been a journeyman, but for sure there is a lot of excitement surrounding a player like that. Like it's extremely exciting. And again, there's so many different variables to this team now that we can mix in there and mix and match and throw different types of pieces around, right? My guy D Prince says this is the kind of player we need here. He says someone who wants to be here and is excited, whatever his role will be. Laker material. D Prince, absolutely, my guy, absolutely. And you know what? Again, I think it was a win-win for both parties. I think D'Lo wins; he gets more of PT, and I think obviously the Lakers, when they get more tough-minded players that just fit in, right? We're not looking for stats here. Now, I find it ironic because a lot of NBA players, and even some of my friends, texted me and they were not happy about the trade, and I was shocked. Shout out to one of my friends. I won't expose him, but he said Rob Pelinka needs to be fired. I was like, what? Some people were ironically upset about D'Lo being traded, and that's their prerogative, whatever it is. I won't say nothing about that. But for me, I've been wanting him to get out of here. Dare I say? You know what I mean? Like it's been quite a while that I wanted D'Angelo Russell gone, and I was surprised we didn't trade him this offseason after the playoff he had last summer. But like I said, he wouldn't get past the trade deadline this year. I knew it. His contract was one of the most tradables, ironically, and they had a bunch of people telling me on this channel that nobody wanted D'Lo. You know what's funny? There's always the naysayers. These were the same people that said Russell Westbrook's contract was untradeable. And now, although we did have to give up a first-round pick for that one, we didn't have to give a first-round pick for this one. So very tradable. Expiring contracts always have value to them. I've been saying it for a while. Now, here's the good news about the trade we did. And according to Jovan Bua, the Lakers, now that they made this move, their plan is to see how Dorian Finney-Smith fits with the team, get some of the injured players back, guys like Vincent, Christian Wood, and Vando, and they want to evaluate the trade market and assess their needs, stuff they are willing to give up, etc. Now, it says here, a first-round pick is more likely, not necessarily guaranteeing they make a second move, but are now in position to overpay to secure a player. For example, Walker Kessler. We want to give up a first-round pick. We could overpay to get him. while other teams might not think he's worth that, the Lakers might. Let's not forget also, they have one of our picks. If we wanted to throw some more incentive in there, you could remove the protection off of it. But I don't think you would require that. Who knows? Jazz could get greedy. It says here that they will scout the market and look at what they need. The understanding is that the Lakers don't feel that either one move satisfies all their needs. So just like we have been predicting, guys, it feels like there's going to be more moves coming. It just does. It feels that way. We could be wrong. This could be the final move, and maybe if they, if something else happens, maybe they come off of those draft picks. But for now, it just feels like this trade is just one move away from really placing themselves in legitimacy to compete for that title. It just feels that way. Although I really like this move. I'm not going to sit here and complain because this move has already, I think, elevated us a bit more to the top, right? Now, for those of you wondering, the Lakers are currently 5th in the NBA standings right now. And so that is a daily thing, right? We're constantly fluctuating. The West is really tough. It's not easy in the West. All right, let me go ahead and pull it up. As you can see, every game, changes things around for us. Right now, we're currently 5th in the West. I like where we're at. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love where we're at right now. But I think with the current roster we have right now, if we get healthy, we get guys like Vando and Christian Wood back, I think we can be a top 3 seed. Now, if you look at the 3rd seed, they're 21-11, 10 games over 500. Lakers can catch up, guys. We can go on a stretch here. We start winning games, we can go down. We can go on a stretch. Not to mention a couple of their players got suspended. Not that it will factor too much into it because they're a really good team this year. Credit to their head coach. Definitely changed that culture of the Houston Rockets. They've taken that leap. But I honestly, if I look at our team right now on paper and I look at these two teams right now, I wholeheartedly believe our teams are better. It's all going to depend on situation. It's all going to depend on the schedule, remainder of the schedule, and the injuries. But I think we might even be able to leapfrog and get to the second slot in the Western Conference. We're not too far behind, y'all. In the win column, we're only 4 games behind. And the loss column, we're a little bit more behind, 8 games below. But it's the West. Things fluctuate all the time. So, again, be patient, Laker fans. Let's see what we can do now, what type of splash we can make now, moving forward. So, let's see. Take a couple of questions, comments. Let's see here. No comments. Jordan Clarkson and Kessler for Gabe and Jalen Hood-Schifino. Remove that protection on the first. Yeah, I had a similar trade to this yesterday. So, yeah, we're thinking along the same lines. I think if the Utah Jazz really want to make a deal in good faith, I think they'll eventually come off of a couple of those contracts. They need to bottom out. They can't keep players like Clarkson and Kessler who are going to help them win extra games that they don't need to be winning. They're not going to make a splash in the Western Conference anytime soon. So I'm expecting teams like them, like the Blazers, like the Wizards to come off of some of those contracts. And the Lakers just got to be ready, like Rob Pelinka proved. And I have to give Rob Pelinka his flowers because Robbie P said he was going to take about 30 games to assess this team and then figure out what moves we had to make. That's exactly what he did. All right, so he didn't lie to us this time. He lied to us last season during the summer, but during this season, he didn't. And somebody pointed it out. I think it was CJ. Shout out to CJ. Pointed out that Rob Pelinka, it seems like he likes to make moves every 2 years. It's almost like he lets them settle in for about 2 seasons, see what you got, then he'll shuffle the deck again. So, that was a great observation, and it's looking to hold true. So this is the year of the Rob Pelinka, which means there could be another trade coming relatively soon here. But let's wait and see because, again, the trade deadline is on February 6th, if I'm not mistaken. So we got a little over a month to go here. Let's see. Reese says, I'm just glad we don't have to worry about D'Lo anymore. Me too, bro. And it's not even to hate on D'Lo because on the right team, he could make somewhat of an impact if you can disguise his lack of defense. For me, though, what it is every time he came in, because basketball is such an infectious sport. Forget about the X's and O's. Forget about the plus, minus, and all these little nerdy stats. Bottom line is when D'Lo was out there, he didn't pass the eye test, man. He was turning the ball over lackadaisically. It seemed like his laziness rubbed off on the rest of the team. Even AD becomes lazier. All these players, and by the way, AD has to work on running back on defense. Sometimes he looks extremely lazy, and it feels like every big beats him down the court. I've had this conversation with my good friend D Free. But so there's still some problems with this roster. However, you get rid of a player that didn't seem to have the right chemistry this season, and you get rid of a big problem. Almost like I feel like after this trade, we're about to get that little boost we got when we first traded away Russell Westbrook. I feel like that's what's about to come to this team right now. Now, ultimately, that season, it wasn't enough to get us over the hump. We end up getting swept in the Western Conference Finals. But this year just feels different, and especially if we can get that big man that's required, and we can have a completely different conversation. Completely. Let's see here. CJ, hey, Dan, I put Jordan Clarkson on the Lakers with Kessler on 2K. He looks good with us. I'll take him or Sexton with Kessler. Yeah, you know what? I like Sexton, but the job that Austin has done and the backup guards we have right now, I think we're good at the point guard. What I like about Clarkson is he fits in whether you start him or bring him off the bench. I think he's more designated than Sexton. Sexton has started a lot for Utah, so he might have to adjust. Even though I like him a little bit more for defensive purposes, I think Clarkson would be a perfect fit here alongside Walker Kessler for sure. But even if we just were able to get a Walker Kessler or a Grant Williams type player, just a big man, I think we're good. I like our backup guards. I really do. I think Gabe Vincent's done a much better job. I really like Melton, Shake Milton. He's really nice. I think we have some good guys in the G League that if we're able to offload some contracts, we might have to convert and maybe can give us some valuable minutes there. Max Christie has done a great job, not at the point guard, but at the guard position. I mean, I think we have pretty good depth right now. It would be nice to get a little bit more insurance policy by getting a Jordan Clarkson type or a Colin Sexton type, but it's not. I don't think it's a need anymore, to be honest with you. We were doing just fine. We won that game on the road without D'Lo. We didn't feel like we needed him at all. So, and even though he could get hot at times, and I'm pretty sure his stats are going to look phenomenal with Brooklyn, a non-winning team. He might put up 21-8, but nobody's going to be impressed by that because it doesn't really contribute to winning much. Right? It wasn't within the flow of things. It was like he had a lot of games this season when he was like 1 for 6, 1 for 7, 2 for 8 from beyond the arc. And it kills the rhythm and the flow of the offense. We need consistency. And let's see if we can get that from the new players, right? Learning curve coming up. Roy, my guy, said, Dan, do you think Danny Ainge would help the Lakers? He is a leprechaun for life. Well, he already helped the Lakers one time when he was involved in that 3-way deal to land us Vando, Malik Beasley, and D'Lo. Look, nobody should operate from that standpoint. He's no longer a Boston Celtic, Roy. If he's still thinking like a Celtic, then he should be fired. He should be thinking like a Jazz. And in all honesty, the Jazz should take whatever deal is best for them. And if the Lakers have that deal, so be it, my friend. D-Free said the teams are already at the bottom, don't need to bottom out. Again, that's conventional wisdom, but they changed the tank rules. If you're already losing that much, you're fine. Brooklyn was different. Nah, I disagree with you there, D-Free. And let me tell you why. Because those teams that I mentioned still have players that can help you win extra games. And, the way the Western Conference is, you might have some teams that are going to be down there, fighting for the bottom three. Should I say the reverse rankings? And in the East is already an atrocity. So there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to have to bottom out. The Wizards, I think, are going to make trades. I think the Portland Trailblazers are going to make trades. I'd be shocked if these teams go past the trade deadline. They have their exact same roster. It doesn't make sense. You got to hit the bottom before you hit the top, man. There's no point of paying these contracts just to help you win a couple of more games. It's not really going to elevate you anywhere. They're going to tank. Trust me when I say this. I felt like even before Brooklyn started trading away some of these guys, I felt like they were going to bottom out. I said it plenty of times on here, and they did. They did. They are rebuilding the right way, which is stacking draft picks. How many do they have over the next 6 or 7 years? They got like 30 something. So first and second round picks combined. So yeah, it's gonna be insane, bro. What's up, Maya's World? What's up, bro? How you doing? He said today is LeBron James' 40th birthday. I know we talked about it earlier on the show, just a little bit earlier. Man, 40 years old, man, still hooping at this level. That is insane, man. NBA isn't popular anymore. Why do y'all watch? Bro, you're here on a basketball channel. Ask yourself that. If you really go with the wave and you're so worried about the popularity of the NBA, and that's going to, I guess, that's going to influence you to watch basketball. I really don't care what the ratings are. I'm a basketball fan for life. I don't care if the ratings are all-time low or all-time high. I'm watching regardless, but to each his own. They are already losing with those players. You can win like 27 games and have some chances as a team that won 5. I get it. I know that there's the bottom 3 teams have the best chance. I know they changed that up, D-Free. However, where we disagree, there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to try to get those bottom 3 slots. There is. People think Cooper Flag is that guy. And so it would make sense. What are you doing winning those extra games if you can have a higher percentage in the draft lottery? Also, there's a chance that the top pick ends up being somebody that's not even slated to be bottom 4. But still, you want to be in the best position possible to land a draft pick. And that's always been that hasn't changed because of the new CBA. That's always been the train of thought, at least from what I could see. And but yeah, I don't think the Wizards are holding on to Kuz. I don't think the Bulls, if they have any trade options to ship out Levine, they will. I don't think they'll hold on to him. There's a lot of contracts that are still going to be moved. And listen, we're a month away, a little over a month away from the trade deadline. We've already had some early trades. I think that's indicative of what's coming for sure. I think it is. Exactly, David. Talk to him, man. Some people just like to troll, bro. Trust me. They just like to troll. But we're watching basketball regardless. We're above the influence here, okay? We don't look at the ratings and say, well, people aren't watching. I shouldn't either. That's called, that's called swimming with the, what do they call that? What is that saying? Riding the wave. We don't ride the wave over here, y'all. We don't ride the wave over here on this side. Alex, thank you so much for super chat, brother. So I'd rather have Sexton than Clarkson. And we're talking about skill set. I 110% agree. And maybe even fit. Maybe he'll accept a bench role to get away from Utah. Maybe he will. But if we're talking about somebody who's been groomed to be a 6-man candidate, I think Clarkson is the fit. But I do like, if it makes sense, I like Sexton better as a player, but I think Clarkson might be the better fit. That's just my own personal opinion. Kelly Olynyk? Nah. I want a rim protector, man. I want a rim protector. I listen, I'm so sick of finesse big men. We have plenty of them. We got some skinny ones in there too as well. I want a rim protecting big man with some size to him. This is why Walker keeps coming to mind. All right, says here. Oh, by the way, Nick Young had something to say about D'Angelo Russell being traded. We were all happy that the trade happened, but I don't think anybody was as happy. I don't think anybody was as happy as Nick Young, who had this to say yesterday, 20 hours ago exactly. He says, and stay out. Don't bring your ass back to LA, yo. Literally, this is what Nick Young had to say. I got one thing to say to Nick Young. Bro, get over it, all right? You cheated. Get over it, bro. It happens. Repercussions happen. You cheated. She didn't forgive you. She moved on. Move on with your life, bro. Stop blaming a young player for a mistake you made, bro. It is what it is. Move on. You don't own LA. You don't talk. You don't speak for LA. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it's immature, bro. How many years has it been since this happened? 10 years? Bro, still talking about it. Don't let it impact your life. Don't be Nick Young, everybody. Don't let something that happened 10 years ago come back and haunt your entire life. Right? Now, Daniel Starkland here reporting that it won't be long until D'Angelo Russell returns to LA when the Lakers host the Nets on January 17th. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be a lot of fun. We get to see D'Lo back. I'm sure he's going to want to go off. All Lakers, ex-Lakers love and absolutely love playing the Lakers. So, it'll happen. It'll happen. But it's really funny. Shout out to Kimiko. She hit him with the boot. Let's go, Kimiko, flexing her powers. You love to see it. Clarkson is also more affordable too. He's making $14 million. Facts. Well, for me, what I like to say is Clarkson to me is the fit. He's groomed to be a 6-man player, right? He already won the award one time. So throughout his career, I think that's been the role he has flourished in the most. I know he started a lot of games throughout his career, but I think that's the role right there. Nick Young needs to stop talking, let it go. Bro, Nick Young be saying some crazy things. I recently read a headline. I don't know how accurate it is, but the headline read that Nick Young believes I think he said on No Chill Gil's podcast, Gilbert Arenas' podcast, that he believes that this current San Antonio Spurs team has the same level of talent as the Miami Heat with the Heatles, with LeBron, D. Wade, Chris Bosh, and all of them. And that is where I started saying, man, you know what I'm saying? They say not all fans should talk ball. I'm going to hit them with the reverse. I'm going to say not all ex-NBA players should talk ball because, damn, that was a horrible take. And I've seen plenty on different shows, but that one right there took the cake for surely. Just insane, man. Let's see, my guy Marco Polo. Yo, Dan, you and Trevor Lane doing a weekly basketball analysis starting January 2025 on your channel would be a win-win. Let me tell you something about Trevor Lane. I'm one of the hardest working men out here in this industry, but Trevor Lane might be the hardest working one out here. And I'm just talking about volume of videos he's constantly pumping out, So credit to that, man. I doubt he has time for anything else, but shout out to him, man. I would be honored to do anything with anybody of that magnitude, of that caliber, of that basketball IQ, man. I would be honored, but kudos to that man. He worked extremely hard, and I admire his work ethic, and I have a similar one, but on a different scale, But again, credit to him, man, and Lakers Nation and all of them over there, man. Shout out to my guy D Free, also has a work ethic. I see you, my guy. I see you. Let's see here. Clarkson is that spark off the bench that we need. Pretty much, Clarkson would come in and give us what we were looking for D'Lo to give us off the bench, which is consistent energy and scoring punch. We didn't get the consistent energy and scoring punch, and I don't know if it was because D'Lo felt like he was above coming off the bench or whatever it was, but he wasn't happy this year, and we saw it since media day. I told you guys, big red flag was D'Lo for me. Go back and watch the video. I called it. I said, don't be surprised if this man gets traded, because this is not acceptable. And you know what's ironic here? People were trying to tell me that they called the D'Lo trade before me, but the truth of the matter is that I have called 2 D'Lo trades. The first time he was here, when nobody believed he was getting traded, and I was getting slandered and dragged when I think he was on his second or third year. I think it was his second year. And we traded him to Brooklyn the first time. And then I predicted this one too, sometime in October, that it would happen. And people were also starting to drag me. A couple of you guys agreed. So credit to the ones that agreed that he would get dealt just based off his body of work in the playoffs. But it's funny, man. People never trust the kid, man. People never trust the kid. And I bring them nothing but facts. And how I'm able to read the tea leaves is because it's common sense, man. If somebody isn't performing in the postseason, their body language is off, the chemistry seems to be off, and it just seems like, to be honest, it started to seem like the locker room was divided. There was even viral clips of D'Lo talking back to LeBron when he was scolding him, and it's like, that's not going to last very long. So it's really common sense. There's nothing too crazy, but believe it or not, some people just don't have it, and they feel like I had a lot of people tell me Austin Reeves is next, or because they were upset D'Lo got traded yesterday, or they would tell me like, I predict that. Like, people would say stuff like mean-spirited things. Like, I predict that Anthony Davis is going to get hurt and he's going to be back next season. Like, people were really mad that a player that didn't fit here, who got dealt for the benefit of both the franchise and the player, and is going to be better splitting up and going separate ways. People were mad that happened. And I'll be honest with you, it's worse for D'Lo's career if he stays here, averages career low numbers, comes off the bench, lost his starting job, and doesn't end up getting a contract extension because it's going to be hard to find him a home next year. Now I don't know if Brooklyn's going to buy him out or hold on to him. Hopefully they hold on to him. And he's able to showcase a little bit of his skill set, and maybe, just maybe, somebody will give him a decent contract in the offseason. Maybe. Right? So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. It is what it is. That's funny, KJ. Then I'm flying out to LA. They need me on the team. My agent just called. Are you a big man? Hopefully you're 7 feet tall, man, because otherwise we don't need a damn thing, bro. We need 7-footers over here on this side, man. All right. Let's see here. Okay, let me set this straight right now. Sexton is okay, but Jordan Clarkson's a real hooper. I will take Clarkson over Sexton any day. Well, I like them both, to be honest. I don't think it's like that clear cut to me personally. I think Colin Sexton might have just better defensive potential on this team. But Clarkson, for me, is more of a certified bucket, although Sexton can fill it up as well. They're both quick and athletic and can get to the basket. That's one thing that their strength is. I just feel like maybe Clarkson might be the better shooter. He might be the better shooter. That's all I'm saying, right? So, yeah. Let's see. I'm not a D'Lo fan, but why is everyone acting like he was the only issue on the team? I like the trade, but this team still needs more to go anywhere. He was a huge issue on this team, Anthony. A huge issue. For one, he was getting paid $18 million. You're about to find out the type of production $18 million can really bring back to your team. You're about to find that out. So, yeah, that's the reason. For me, that's the main reason. You can't have $18 million Somebody shooting career low numbers since his rookie season. With the bad body language, it can't be. And if you pay close attention to the games, and I called this out many times over on Playback when we were watching live with the fellas. Every time D'Lo came back into the game, our lead just tend to disappear. And I'm not saying it's fully his fault, but basketball is an infectious sport. If you have one weakness, and especially when he wasn't shooting well, it's almost like playing 5-on-4. Now you're becoming a liability. Another thing I didn't like about D'Lo, he's got zero vertical quickness, man. He could barely jump over a phone book. A lot of you guys are too young to know what a phone book is, but it's about this thick, right? His athleticism, I guess at times he would show spurts of it, like when he blocked Paolo Banchero last season. He would show spurts of athleticism, but it's almost like he didn't have the motor. That's the issue I had with D'Lo, and it was showcased all the time when he was getting cooked on the defensive end. When offensively, every time he was playmaking, he needed people to move instead of him moving. So he would point to people where to move. Pay attention to his game, right? How many guards in this league, need players to move in order to play make for them? That you should be able to play make off the dribble. You should be able to do things using your lateral quickness, your IQ, your basketball hand. Now his ball handling was pretty decent, but now when he got lazy, man, he was guaranteed turnover. So again, for me, it's not about skills with D'Angelo Russell. It was about effort and just wanting to be here. When he first came to the Lakers, he wanted to be here. He was excited about the opportunity. He was playing out of his mind. And then we got to the playoffs, and in that Denver Nuggets series, he got exposed. And after that, the excitement just went down from there. Every year he did have a very good stretch last season from December all the way to March. But when we needed him the most, at the end, he wasn't there again. So those are the reasons I've been wanting him traded, bro. And it's not nothing personal. It's just no fit here. It's not a fit here. Yeah, anybody who's watching games, I agree, Hanson. You would see what the issue is. And I'm saying people still defending D'Lo like he's this big commodity. I heard Dwight Howard talk about the Lakers like we're crazy for making this trade. Come on, fam. You gotta. I know. Look, maybe he's upset that Jeannie didn't pick up the phone and call him up, but let's be real. This was a great trade for us. Great trade for us. What do you think about James Wiseman on the team? You know what, Solo? I haven't been paying attention to his career. Is he even in the league right now? Where is he? Detroit? Very athletic. He seems to have the tools, but the last time we took a player like that, he's had part-time impact. I'm talking about Jackson Hayes. I want somebody that's a little more seasoned, more grizzled, and we know for sure is going to give us, if he's healthy, he's going to give us what we need. Yeah, that's what we need for sure. Remember, Clarkson can be used as a combo guard as well as a scorer. He can pass when he wants to. Yeah, I like Clarkson. Like I said, that was my best trade package I had yesterday. It was Clarkson-Kessler combination. If we can get some sort of iteration of that, man, that would be great. Let's see here. He says Sexton is better, and it's not close. Also, live react to Clarkson's shooting percentage. I'm trying to see something. No, we're not putting up the shooting percentages, man. Look, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. A lot of these players are playing uninspired basketball. You're in Utah, man. You're in Mormon country, bro. Nobody's going to play their heart out when you're on a rebuilding team with no direction. I think Dorian Finney-Smith said it best. Like it's a big upgrade to know you're playing for a title now from going from a franchise that you don't know what direction they had. Same thing's going on with Kuzma. It's easy to pull up. This is why the numbers don't always do justice. I know the type of player Clarkson is. I don't have to pull up his numbers to see it. I followed him his entire career. Also, fun fact, every time Clarkson joins LeBron during the season, LeBron gets to the finals. Just saying, if we're looking at numbers, there's all kinds of numbers that don't always tell the full story, like that one. See, I could just throw out a random stat like that. But for me personally, I like both of them. Don't get me wrong. Sexton, I wanted Sexton Kessler earlier in the season. After this trade, I want either one of them with Kessler. But the staple here and the key here is going to be Kessler. Yeah. A lot of ex-NBA players really talking, man. A lot of ex-NBA players been talking. It's unfortunate. Let's see. People are not acknowledging the immaturity of D'Lo. He thinks he's bigger than what he is, and the bigger issue was the playoffs, compares regular season to playoffs, and this is why he got traded. Exactly, bro. It's that simple. It's not personal. We live in a player fan era. People like the way his hair color is or the way his swagger on his podcast is, and they will defend him to holy hell. They'll defend him more than the players' wives defend him. So I'm kind of disgusted by the player fan era because a lot of player fans, they gravitate towards who they like. And then again, I had people mad we made this trade yesterday talking about we traded an all-star potential player for a role player. D'Lo was not going to be an all-star with the Lakers. His best season is behind him. That was last year. And like you said, he didn't perform in the playoffs. We get a real dog. We get somebody who's one of the better defensive perimeter wings in this league, who we've been looking for two-way. He's shooting 44%, which is a career high for him from beyond the arc. And I think they said this month or this week he was shooting like 48% from beyond the arc. Now, I'm not expecting that to translate all the time because sometimes players come here and the spotlight is too bright. We saw it happen with Malik Beasley. We've seen it happen with other players as well. Even LA natives like Russell Westbrook shrunk under the limelight. So I'm not expecting the shooting, but what I'm really excited for Dorian is the size, the ability to switch multiple positions, the rebounding, the toughness, just the extra intangibles he's going to bring to the game that are just going to make us a better team, right? So that's what we have to look at when we made this trade, right? D Free says the thing about D'Lo is the Lakers very clearly went into the season with the idea of diminishing his role. He has a career low usage and minutes and role. The opposite was true last year. The only thing that I can see, D Free, and again, this is why I'm not a numbers guy because numbers don't always tell me the full story. The only thing I can see is that the Lakers gave him the same amount of opportunities in the postseason to shine. And it didn't really pay off either time. He really wasn't an X factor outside of a couple of games he sprinkled in there the first go around in the playoffs for us. And I don't even think he had a single good game versus Denver the second playoffs, right? So somebody mentioned it earlier, great regular season player, usage percentages and career low, and we set him up for failure. I don't want to hear none of it because at the end of the day, he's had plenty of opportunities around the league to prove that he could get you to that next level as a player. And he has it. Okay. He's historically, and you agree with me. I know you agree because we were both excited about this trade yesterday. D'Angelo Russell is a regular season player. I hate to say it, but it's a big enough sample size to show you that he's had very limited productivity throughout the postseason. It's just the facts, That's all. That's all. That's all I got to say about D'Lo. But I do wish him the best. There's no hate, man. There's no hate for D'Angelo Russell. None. Let's see here. Thank you, Solo. Thank you, brother. Hey, but look, at the end of the day, I'm not mad at y'all. If y'all like D'Angelo Russell that much, feel free. If you got League Pass, you can watch him in Brooklyn, man. He's actually going to shine a lot more in Brooklyn now. He's going to shine a lot more in Brooklyn now, I promise. He's going to probably average 18 to 23, anywhere in between. And it doesn't mean that we whiffed on the trade. It doesn't mean that he was the best player in the trade. It just means that he fits on a non-winning organization, playing non-winning basketball, padding your stats. Let's see here. Do you trade Vando since he hasn't stepped on the court? Nico, well, what I'm hearing is that they're going to evaluate this roster and how we look together. So that's the right thing to do. Once again, I will say that Rob Pelinka has kind of regained my trust a little bit after this trade because I was losing it with him. I said he's on 2 strikes. I'm about to he should be out if he makes no trades by this trade deadline. But this trade really came in swiftly. We got a really high pedigree role player in this league that a lot of people would have wanted. And we got him for 3 second-round picks. So again, let's see what Rob Pelinka thinks. And hopefully he will figure out that we need a big man. But that's about it. He said, what's ironic about D'Lo fans was they had an excuse that he's a good regular season player until he stopped playing good in the regular season. Remember last year, bro, CJ, you remember last year I wanted him traded. He had that atrocity of a month before December. I think it was November, right? And I said, man, go trade him for DeJounte Murray. People wanted Austin Reeves traded. They're like, nah, you're trading the wrong one. Trade Austin Reeves and keep D'Lo and DeJounte out. That would have been just ridiculous. Okay. But you got D'Lo. He had that horrible month in November. He's averaging like 8 points coming off the bench. Again, the same energy he was giving us recently. Even though I will give credit to D'Lo because this year he had better games off the bench this year. But last year, Darvin Ham benched him for a bit and then brought him back into the starting lineup. Then he went off. And he changed my mind. D'Lo changed my mind. I said, let's give him one more chance to see if he can shine in the postseason the way he's been playing. He was playing like an all-star from December all the way to like right before March started. And I give him his flowers, man. There's never no hate from me. I gave him his flowers. I said I was wrong that I wanted him traded, but actually I was right because what happened in the postseason, right? But that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. It's just, with D'Angelo Russell, guys, there's no question that we needed this trade. No question, none. This was a necessity. This was a necessity. Any real Laker fan will tell you this trade was a necessity. And we got it done. So, we gotta be, we gotta be thankful for it because we were begging for it. And now that we have it, now that we're getting people complaining, throwing numbers in our face. Not everybody, but some people. I've had tons of DMs already from people telling me that I'm tripping, that I shouldn't be happy about D'Lo. And like I said, even some of my friends didn't agree about my excitement yesterday. But I stand. You guys know me. I stand 10 toes down with this excitement because I think once they gel as a unit, we're really going to wreak some havoc in the Western Conference and potentially in the NBA entirely, as long as we get that big man. Okay. Solo says, I really like D'Lo and wanted him to succeed here, but too often he was lackadaisical and showed no interest in putting his best foot forward. Too many times he came up short on the offensive end. That's all I'm saying. Thank you. You summed it up better than I just did. I freaking wrote a paragraph just now talking about D'Lo. But you're right. You're absolutely right. That's the problem for me. It's not even so much the lack of production or the lack of defense, which that's a huge problem for me. It's the body language. You guys seen me call it here during, I don't think anybody else pointed it out. I was one of the first to point out that I didn't like the body language of D'Lo, and then he continued to say things that were interesting to me. I just didn't feel like they were buying into the team. It didn't feel that way. Now I feel sorry for Austin Reeves. He made a great friendship with D'Lo. You could tell they were like brothers, right? You could tell, but it is what it is, man. That's the way the cookie crumbles. It's a business. You can't keep everybody happy. My guy D3 says, oh yeah, I know D'Lo was bad in the playoffs. I'm just saying that if you're going to talk about how he's not performing, the Lakers didn't put him in the position this year to perform, which is fine. Yeah, man. But remember, and I will say that to counter to what you just said, and you're right. We didn't put him in the position to perform. Or maybe he didn't put himself in position to perform. Maybe he didn't put the same work ethic. Maybe he was more focused on the podcast. Maybe the team chemistry wasn't the same. He did start the year. He lost that on his own, D-Free. He lost that job on his own, and I remember there was games. Who remembers the infamous little pounce jump that J.J. Redick did when he was throwing a fit because D'Lo wasn't getting back on defense? I really think the Lakers gave him the opportunity, and I wholeheartedly believe J.J. wanted to see him succeed. I just don't think he helped himself out. So that, man, two great basketball minds talking basketball. Me and D-Free, man, I gotta invite D-Free up here to talk with me, man, because I feel like I could have a debate with him any day. But it's a healthy debate, right? Basketball's not always about agreeing on everything, but it is about having great conversations respectfully and enjoying each other's company. I really enjoy my guy D-Free every time he joins the channel, man. Good friend of mine. See here. Let's see. Any more comments, questions, concerns? We covered a couple things so far. We talked about the injury update to Vando. If you guys didn't see this video earlier, make sure you rewind it once it posts. We talked about a potential another trade that might happen. According to Jovan, Lakers are positioning themselves to overpay with a first-round pick potentially. We talked about the rotations and how J.J. Redick's going to keep the same starting lineup for now, but that's the key for now. And what else did we talk about? D'Lo. I mean, D'Lo has kind of stolen the conversation here, but Lakers have a golden opportunity to make a run in the West. We're currently 5th at 18-13, and we're right on the heels of the Mavericks. We're right on the heels of the Rockets, and I believe after this trade we could become a top 3 team. I had us top 4 before the trade, assuming everything was healthy. We haven't been healthy, but if everybody comes back healthy and we can remain healthy for a long period of time, it's impossible to stay healthy throughout the year. But for a long period of time, then I believe we can be a top 3 seed for sure, man. We got the talent for it now. We do. I mean, can you just imagine, guys, the interchangeable wings? We're going to be wreaking havoc on defensive end. We already started doing that with the revelation and the nuanced play of Max Christie, his rising per se. We already started ramping up. The defense got better. Can you imagine now what a 6'7", 6'8" wing who can guard multiple positions and smack threes can do for us? What a high energy guard like Shake Milton, who can come off the bench and give you some valuable minutes, can do for us. Mind you, the two players we traded, I think, were counterproductive, but the one was Maxwell Lewis, who wasn't even playable right now. He might become something in the future, and I wish him the best. I like his talent. I like his potential, but I'm talking about what can you do for me now? We got two players that can do for us right now. Thoughts on the Patrick Beverley comments? I touched on this yesterday, bro. I touched on the Patrick Beverley comments last night, but I'll repeat it for you, man. I disagree with him. And matter of fact, him playing overseas, I think, proved Laker fans right. Right? He says that I guess we hold too high of a standard for role players here. He said as soon as they have a bad shooting night, they're going to jump on you. Any fan base that cares about their players should be like that, should hold their players to a high standard. If you don't care about your team, then just show up, cheer brainlessly, and leave happily, whether you get blown out by 40 or win by 10, right? But we care about our team, man. We are obsessive about the Lakers, and we are a diehard NBA fan. So that's not for everybody. Patrick Beverley's just proven that he's not really as tough as he seems. He's all bark, no bite, you know what I'm saying, like a chihuahua. And the fact that he said that about Laker fans just proves to me that it was too hot, so he got to get out of the kitchen, which is why he's no longer in the NBA right now, right? Not to mention he's an asshole for the way he treated that reporter, talking about if you're not subscribed to my podcast, get out of it. Like, come on, man. That's not something you do no matter what level you're on. You don't treat people like that. You don't treat people like you're better than them. You don't do that. You got to treat everybody like they're equals always. That's what we are at the end of the day. We're all equals, right? Hey, thank you so much, my guy, for the super chat. He said, hey, Dan, es mi cumpleaños. Alan, happy birthday, Alan. Everybody wish Alan a very happy birthday in the chat, man. That always makes me happy, man. You guys sharing your birthday with me. It's been a great birthday month. You got the same birthday as LeBron. That's really freaking cool, Alan. That's really freaking cool. I guess that makes you a GOAT, right? But yeah, man, it's been a great birthday month for me personally, for all my fellow Laker fans and everybody who's their birthday this month. Happy birthday to all of you guys, man. But appreciate you guys in the chat for always showing love, man. And thank you, Alan, for the super chat. I appreciate that. Let's see. D Free says, well, no, but again, they took the ball out of his hands, which is where the usage dips. That's the only way he can be useful. And no, I don't think JJ ever liked him. And love you, my guy. Really? You don't think JJ liked him? Well, listen, we can't blame JJ because D'Lo makes himself very unlikable. It's like the teacher in class that has the student that doesn't give a damn and is disruptive in class. That's basically what D'Lo was. He's basically D'Angelo Russell was to JJ. Well, Russell Westbrook was to Darvin Ham. So it's very hard to like a player like that. But love you too, bro. But I'll say this: this Laker franchise is above what the player needs from us, and we're more so what can the player do for us. Okay, he needed to adapt to whatever it was. Taking the ball out of his hands, maybe because he was lackadaisical, maybe because he was careless, maybe because he kept turning the ball over. One thing I will say about Austin, yes, he turns the ball over sometimes, but he finds ways to make up for it, whether it's big shots or whether it's 16 assists in a game or whatever it is. He finds ways to make up for it, and we know he's going to be clutch down the stretch. I could not say the same thing for D'Lo, man. And I rest my case with that because I think we can go back and forth on D'Lo. But remember, the Lakers aren't about making you comfortable, right? The Lakers are about making you work for it and earning it. And when you do, then you'll get rewarded. Just like Max Christie. Max Christie, you could say he was being very underutilized early on. And you could say that he had a very short leash the way they kept yanking him to the bench. But guess what? He worked hard. He earned his keep. And right now he's starting for our Lakers. And that's saying a lot. So he's helping them too. So if D'Lo would have did the same thing when he lost his job, then maybe he would have still been with the Lakers. Unfortunately, he did not. And so, he got the boot. But hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. It's a tough business. You got to feel for them. Imagine you're an NBA player. Sometimes I put myself I can't put myself in their shoes. Them dudes is millionaires and I'm not. But just imagine getting a phone call saying, oh, you got to, leave your family here or you got to relocate them to New York. That's from coast to coast. It's not easy. It's never easy. And so, but that's what comes with being a millionaire, man. I would take the trade-off. Personally, I never feel really that sorry for players. They're millionaires, they're set. And yes, I know money doesn't necessarily bring you happiness at all times, but look, man, it would damn sure bring me happiness in my shoes, for sure. Oh, James, CJ, my friends were, my phone was blowing up, man. I almost lost my voice yesterday. After I went live, man, I called back and texted back everybody. And I had this conversation already. Yeah, I told my friend, no more Russells. You're absolutely right about that, CJ. No more Russells, please. I beg of you. That is, listen, I don't care if it's Bill Russell. I don't care if it's D'Angelo Russell or Russell Westbrook. No more Russells, man. We have had horrible experiences with Russells. Although I will give D'Lo credit in this regard. Even though I didn't like his body language on the court, off the court, he was always a very supportive teammate. Can't say the same for the other Russell, right? So I will give him that. I give him his flowers in that regard. D'Lo at least was very supportive, especially of one Austin Reeves. And also, I think he probably had his hand in helping. I wouldn't be shocked if Austin later on says that D'Lo was one of the main reasons he has elevated his play style, because maybe they've been working out together. Maybe he's been getting some information off the vet. I think he was a good vet for Austin Reeves and some of the younger players. So again, credit to D'Lo, even though he was toxic on the court. Unlike Westbrook, he wasn't toxic off the court, right? Off the court, he seemed to be a great person. We're always going to have love for our baby Lakers that we drafted, and it's never no hate. It's just, it's team first over here, man. If you're a Laker fan, you know the way we operate is team first. Go crazy. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. He said Coloco full-time and Bruce Brown championship. Now, Bruce Brown is intriguing, but do we really need more 3-and-D wings? You know, we got a couple already. How about, but Coloco, I do like. I think they're going to increase his minutes if we ever make a trade to clear up a roster spot. I want this man to be full-time, right? I want this man to be a full-time Laker because I like his energy. I liked him when we acquired him. He's got good size, good athleticism, and a high motor, right? So, yeah, I agree with the Coloco take. Now, Bruce Brown, depends what the asking price is. I'm not opposed to it. The more wings, the better. You know, they might as well call us the Wingstop Lakers at this point. We get none but stops with our wings if we get Bruce Brown. But I'm now pivoting, and I'm targeting a big man. I mean, bro, it's been years in the making. We haven't been able to replace the production that both JaVale McGee and Dwight brought alongside AD, which produced a championship. We haven't been able to replace that since we lost it. I know that that they want to. I know for a fact that they want to eventually find something like that, but they really are going to play small ball, and I think this trade is going to help the Lakers play more small ball with guys like Dorian Finney. I can see Finney playing the Draymond Green role, right? Big man with good hands who can get his active hands in the passing lanes, can rebound, but most importantly, can do something Draymond cannot, and that's smack threes and space the floor and score a little bit. So, exciting times, Laker family. Comments, questions, concerns, holler at me in the chat, man. Solo, if D'Lo was balling out, nobody would have wanted him gone. At the end of the day, you have to make the most of your opportunities. We're not a player catering franchise unless you're a megastar like LeBron. Then we cater to you, man. Do you guys find it ironic that we made this trade one day before LeBron James' birthday? Oh, yeah. This had the king written all over it. And rightfully so, because LeBron is a basketball savant. You have to listen to him, especially when he's playing at this level. You have to listen to him, right? And so, I can tell the chemistry was off between LeBron and D'Lo. You can even see today in today's press conference interview, LeBron did say something nice about D'Lo, but he didn't use the word traded. He said had to go, or he used different terms. And he looked uncomfortable talking about D'Angelo Russell, which is kind of similar to how he looked talking about Westbrook. Now, I'm not trying to create any sort of beef or anything like that, any false narratives, but that's just what I saw personally. I'm a master at reading body languages, man. It's how I've been able to predict a lot of these trades. And I'll tell you, I could tell that the body language, the chemistry wasn't there between D'Lo and LeBron, and that's huge. If one player doesn't fall back and follow the leader all the way, then players that are his friends, guys like Austin Reeves or other guys, could follow suit. And so if you're the Lakers, you did the right thing for yourself and for the player. That's right, Marco. Let's speak it into existence, man. Not as of right now, not as of yet. Absolutely. Prince says, I keep on leaning towards Jonas. In my opinion, he is the most realistic, attainable big to target. All the other bigs we want are not available or on contending teams. Well, they're not available as of right now, D Prince, but that could change like this. Remember, just last season, Dorian Finney-Smith, the asking price for him was 2 first-round picks, and guess what? Nobody touched them, right? And now, look, fast forward to now, 3 second-round picks, and you're able to land them. right? So things can change in an instant, and who knows if in 1 month Utah will finally snap out of it, come to their senses, and say, "Hey, um, it's time to bottom out." I still think teams have to bottom out, regardless of the new CBA and the bottom 3 teams in the lottery having the top odds rather than just one team. I still think if I'm a GM, I'm bottoming out. I am. I'm not risking getting extra wins and a couple of percentage points, keep me away from Cooper Flag potential. I'm just not doing that because I got nothing to gain off of that. And you can maximize by adding even more first round talent, right? More value, more picks, more. You got to be hungry as a GM, especially if you suck. You got to be really hungry. You got to be like Sam Presti, or you got to be like the Wizards GM, Joe Tsai, who's got about 100 first round picks now. This man swimming in first round picks. Let's see. Mooley Vicks, what's up, my brother? He said, Dan, my opinion on the new film. Saw you didn't like it that much. Would love to hear a review without spoilers. Opinion on the new film. All right. Nosferatu is the one you're talking about. All right. So no spoilers, but I'll give it to you real quick. It had a good buildup. It had great acting. I didn't even know, my girl put me onto this, but Johnny Depp's daughter is the main actress on that movie. I had some really great actors. I forget his name. The guy who plays the Green Goblin in Spider-Man, the original. One of my favorite actors. He's in there. It just had a great cast. It had a great buildup. I thought the cinematography is what they call it, right? Was beautiful. The setting was great. It gave me Sleepy Hollow vibes. And then it just let me down at the end personally. That's just me. So I gave it a 6 out of 10. I'm a harsh critic. I don't just hand out 10s out here. The movies I've seen that I've recommended to you guys, I genuinely thought they were great movies, and so did the rest of the world, apparently. So, man. I thought it was a 6 out of 10. I don't really recommend it. It's supposed to be the modern twist on a Dracula movie. Didn't feel like that. It felt more Twilight than Dracula to me. So, I don't like that kind of shit, but that's just me. I wanted a real gory horror movie, and I got something different. It's not what I got. So hopefully that helps you, Mooley. For me, 6, and I'm being generous when I give it a 6 out of 10. That's just me. I know I saw the critics like the movie. I'm thinking, what kind of dark emo shit is this? Who in the hell likes this type of movie? I don't know. It couldn't be me. But I did enjoy the company of my girl and the snacks and everything. We, just being out with her. That's always great. So let's see here. I think Rob P is going to go after Jonas for Gabe in 2 seconds, then get Fultz. Well, I wouldn't be mad at it. Again, Jonas is a big body. Jonas is a big body, fam. So Jonas Valanciunas is a big body. He's not a defensive stopper by any means. He can definitely help on the rebounds. He would for sure come off the bench. You can't have him stagnating the starting lineup. It's just not going to work. But off the bench as a primary big for AD, that would be huge. He could give you 10 and 10, and I'm happy with that. Maybe one block here and there, but You're welcome, Mooley. I hope it. Yeah, I did. I had to, bro. I'm sorry. When you see it, you'll understand my comparison when you see it. All right. As a matter of fact, I would encourage you to go see it. Don't take my word for it. Go check it out for yourself, and then I'd love to hear your opinion on it. Yeah, William Dafoe. Oh yeah. William Dafoe, man, he was on here. It had great actors, like I said, great cast, great acting, everything. The buildup was solid. The cinematography was beautiful, and then the ending was like, bleh. Yeah. I'm good. That's one of them type of movies that you enjoy it 3/4 of the way, and then you hate it in the end. But you're not mad you saw it because it was entertaining at least. But I'll never touch it again with a 10-foot pole. You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of movie. If that describes it, I know it's kind of confusing, but if you see it, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. See, Mamba says, Dan, I'm going to keep my ice in the veins D-Lo shirt. Still fire. That was the best D-Lo too. Bad we didn't see much of it, especially in the playoffs. Well, like I said, from the moment we acquired D-Lo, I think a change of scenery brings the best out of D-Lo. And we saw when we traded him to Brooklyn too, he had a great season. They even made the playoffs. But after that season, it was just disappointment. Even though he had a great regular season, in the postseason, disappointment. And then, this year it just culminated to, please get him out of here. Yes, that is a classic dance inspiration. Absolutely. Yeah, bro. I can't really recommend you to go watch it. Yeah, you're right, Mooley. I would have. All right. Mufasa 7 out of 10. I haven't seen that movie yet. I hate it. You know what it was, Solo? I absolutely hated the last Lion King movie, the real live action. I think some movies are just better left um as cartoons, man. I would have much more been interested in Mufasa if it was a cartoon. But then, I don't even know if they're gonna do James Earl Jones justice, one of my favorite voices in acting, even with this movie. So yeah, I'll probably watch it though when it comes out for sure on streaming platforms. But yeah, 7 out of 10 is good. It takes a strong recommendation to get me to go watch a movie that I wasn't going to watch, and this was one of those. I didn't have it on my list to watch. You know what it was? I hated the last live action version. I felt like I was watching National Geographic instead of Lion King. Can't have that. See here, my guy. Let's see. Anne says, I'm not sure if you're a guy or girl, my bad. But this person says, Dan, any recommendations of key scorer player for trade? I think that's the priority now, especially if injury occurs. And one of the core players we have. I'll be honest with you. I don't think we have trouble scoring. LeBron wasn't even with us, and we dropped 130 last game. Right? And LeBron wasn't even with us, and D'Lo didn't really contribute. So, like I already mentioned, I think Jordan Clarkson would be a good get, but I don't think it's a priority. I want that backup big. Defense has to be a priority, guys, because look, we've won a lot more games when we play defense versus early on. We're mainly focused on offense, right? So yeah, let's keep improving this team defensively. Get a big man anchor who can do some dirty work, set some tough screens. And that's my real target, not a scorer. We got plenty of scores. You see, Austin Reeves can fill it up. Dorian Finney-Smith, you guys are going to get familiar with his game. He can drop anywhere between 10 to 17 points on any given night, maybe even more if he gets it going. Who else? Obviously, LeBron, AD, off the bench. We got guys who can get buckets, right? Rui he can get you buckets. That's 5 bucket getters right off the top in the starting lineup. And then off the bench, obviously, when Vandal comes back, defense. But, yeah, could we bolster up the bench for scoring? Sure. But look, don't sleep on Devontae Graham. We brought him into the South Bay G League Defenders. He's a bucket getter. Don't sleep on my guy, Quincy Oliveri. If we ever clear up roster spots, look out for him. Guys like that, you never know. They can maybe grow into a role. It's a great question. Great question. Prince, every time I see the actor William Dafoe, I always see Green Goblin. Yeah, me too, bro. That's one of my favorite roles for him, for sure. Let's see. Interstellar, 10 out of 10, no doubt. Love that movie. The soundtrack was amazing, too. It's coming to Netflix? Oh, no doubt. Yeah, man, I enjoy watching some movies through that. By the way, if you guys have not seen Squid Game Season 2, check that out. That was great. It was great. I thought it was going to let me down. I seen some reviews that were kind of sus. But, yeah, if you guys have not seen Squid Game Season 2, please watch. My guy said, open up the lines, bro. Oh, man, you know what? If we had hit my goal there earlier with the likes or the target goal, I would have did it for sure. But we're already at the top of the hour. I'm going to end this video in a couple of minutes. Just vibing out with you guys, man. But next time, bro, I got you. Next time for sure, man. I do appreciate the super chat, my guy. But yeah, I'm running out of time here in a bit. So I also don't want to rush you guys when you guys call in. So I never do it once I go over the hour. If we hit the goals before we go through the hour, I will always open it, even if it's within 50 minutes or so of the video, right? Oh yeah, D-free, absolutely, bro. And more so of a reason why people should stockpile and draft draft picks as much as they can, because that's where it's at now, man. We can see how a lot of teams are going to start lowering their market value for players and expecting second round picks rather than first. I think the market has been set. What happened was that in the offseason, Mikal Bridges got traded to the Knicks for 5 first round picks. And so everybody thought that's what the market was. I guess nobody wanted to meet the demands and expectations. And so they had to lower their trade value. Now it's at an all-time low as far as what players will go for, right? They're going for second-round picks. Look, Dennis Schroeder, the way he was balling out, you would have thought they would have got a first-round pick out of it. Same thing with Finney-Smith. And no, they weren't able to get a single first-round pick unless it was heavily protected. So I think the market has been reset, and that it very much is going to vote well for the Lakers, man. It is. It's going to help the Lakers in making another trade. It is. Snow White? Oh, man. I haven't seen Snow White since I was a kid, bro. Yeah, all Disney movies don't need to be live action. Facts. I'll be honest. The only live action movie that I thought was decent that Disney remade was it the Jungle Book one? It was one of the Jungle Book ones, and then the Aladdin one was okay because it had Will Smith and all of them, so it was okay. But I could have went without it. Honestly, the cartoon movies were just so much better. I know they're making a How to Train Your Dragon. That one looks pretty fire. I might go see that one because I love the DreamWorks series, the How to Train Your Dragon. So I might actually make an exception for that, but we'll see. Depends on the ratings and stuff. It's crazy that at one time William Dafoe was screenplayed as Joker, bro. If he would have got that role, CJ, I would have lost it, man, because that's one of my favorite villains in DC, and I can definitely picture him as that. You know who else I think was miscasted? Jim Carrey, y'all. Jim Carrey should have been the Joker. He was, oh, come on, man. The antics. Jim Carrey is the only actor in history that can transform his face and facial expressions into live action cartoon. We've seen it with The Mask, right? And I'm not talking about the CGI. I'm talking about just the faces and expressions he makes. He's such a hilarious dude. He would have been perfect for the old school Joker, man. Instead, they casted him as Riddler. Kind of didn't really like him as Riddler. But yeah, I thought Jim Carrey would have killed it. But Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, all those guys, goats for sure. I can't even complain. But I'm just saying, like, me personally, if I was running the movies, Jim Carrey would have been my Joker. I think he's born to play the role. Maybe in the future they can do it. But I'm talking about not the modern, mature version of Joker that they're doing with like Joaquin Phoenix. I'm talking about the old school, the Mark Hamill Joker from the cartoons, right? Who remembers that? That's the Joker I would have loved to see Jim Carrey play. I would have loved it, man. And I think they whiffed on that. Or maybe he turned down the paper. I don't know. But would have been great. Who do you want for the Lakers to trade for, Valanciunas or Kessler? Between those two, I'm taking Kessler all day. I think he's exactly who we need right now. But good question. I mean, I don't turn down either of the two. Give me a big body just to back up AD so we can prolong his longevity and make sure that he's healthy and ready to go. You know, rock. We need him to rock out for the rest of the season and the postseason. Yeah, I can't wait either, man. People really try to undersell season 2 of Squid Games. I liked it. Of course, nothing's ever going to be as good as the original, but a sequel, I think it was a very good success, and it continues on the story. So I'm not going to lie to you guys. I rarely have time to watch stuff, but when I do sit down and watch, I binged it all between 2 days. I split the episodes in 2 days, and it's only 7 episodes, but man, so good. Very interested in this team at this point. I think they're super dynamic now. Yeah, you know what? Great House Hoops TV. Yes, we are dynamic, and we have multiple players who can switch multiple positions and defend at a high level, and I think that can really elevate us for sure moving forward. How many picks do you think Cam Johnson is going for? I think they might be able to get 1 first-round pick and maybe a 2nd first-round pick protected, but I wouldn't give up 2 first-round picks for him. I'm sorry. I like him as a two-way player. I like what he brings to the table. He's still young. 1 first-round pick is the maximum I'm giving up from him. I'm sorry. Now, the market value right now is you can get players are attainable now. Hey, what's up, Nakomi? How you doing? Good to see you, Nakomi. How you doing, my friend? Aladdin was fire. It was pretty solid. I saw that one in the movies with my girl and my family. Pretty decent. I'm not mad at that one. Let's see. There's a rumor that one is in the works. What we're talking about? What are we talking about? One what? One trade? One movie? What is it, brother? I'm doing good, Joseph. How you doing, bro? Good. Thank you for asking. Ace Ventura's Jim Carrey, bruh. Jim Carrey playing the Joker would have been just a dream. Just a dream. Kessler all day. If Rob pulls that off, I'm kissing the ring. Yes. Oh my goodness, man. We have been, listen, Nakoma, you know, we've been talking about this all summer long. Kessler, and we talked about Sexton. I don't prioritize Sexton or Clarkson anymore. I'd like either. But Walker Kessler, we get him, we're winning the chip for sure. We're winning the chip for sure. There's no way. If we stay healthy, we get Vandal back, we get, the pieces we need, and we get Walker Kessler with Finney Smith, with LeBron James, AD, Austin Reeves, Max Christie, Cam Reddish, all the pieces we held on to. We're on to something really special. Really special. Disney Coco was a good movie. Oh, I love that movie. But that's not a remake. But yes, I love that movie. I like cartoon movies, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Shoot me. I love cartoon movies, especially the ones that are really properly told and animated. Coco's up there. My favorite animated movie all time is Lion King. Okay, that's why I get frustrated when they do a remake or a live action and it just doesn't live up. Lion King forever, man. Just had iconic voices, great acting, great storytelling. You know, that was a movie that as a kid, my mom used to play every single day in the house. There was always at some point I will come in after playing outside and the movie was playing. Like, love that movie. How could you not? You know? You said you have something important to tell us, Dan? I did, and that was that Vando could be back relatively soon, man. Yeah, that was earlier in the video. Vando could be back relatively soon. He started non-contact practices today. That, and I give you guys the update about Dorian Finney-Smith and Shake Milton potentially playing tomorrow. So if they clear their physical, you know, those are the most important things I had to tell you guys right there. BW, thank you so much. Homie could pass as Vlade Divac's son. Homie could pass as Vlade Divac's son. No clue what you're talking about, bro. But I appreciate the super chat. Dan, what if Rob pull off D Fox? Elizabeth, let me tell you something. If Rob Pelinka pulls off De'Aaron Fox, what do you guys think the package is going to be? Because we have contracts to match now. I mean, you have Rui Hachimura's contract is still tradable. You have Gabe Vincent's contract is still tradable. Vando's contract is still tradable. And it makes more sense if those guys get traded now because you still have Dorian Finney-Smith now. But I'll be honest with you. As much as I love Fox, it depends what the contract is now. Because, you know, I really like, and I'll tell you this, I really love the depth we have on this roster. And I choose depth over anything. I choose depth over anything all day, every day. I'm taking my depth for sure. Let's see. Yes, Dan, I agree. Been saying it my whole life. Why didn't they cast Jim Carrey as Riddler instead of Joker? Man, thank you, bro. Thank you. That's how I know you're a movie buff like me, man. Yeah, when you know the role was like tailor-made for him perfectly, and he didn't live up to the hype. He didn't, you know. I didn't like him as a Riddler at all, honestly. Matter of fact, that role kind of annoyed me. And that's probably the only role that I feel like he's been miscast in. But I didn't like Jim Carrey. Like, I cringe when I see Jim Carrey in that role as the Riddler. I feel like it was just too all over the place. Let's see. Final comments, questions, concerns. I think that's going to wrap it up for me, guys. Let's see. Anyone else? Well, we've had plenty of updates in today's video. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. Major shout out to my sponsorship Prize Picks, guys. You guys know what the promo code is, so tap in there. And I agree with D Wills. I think after this trade, it changes everything I had to say as far as for Rob Pelinka and De'Aaron Fox. The Fox ship has sailed for now. We have to keep our depth. Agreed. And we think about this, right? Depth is what wins championships, not star power anymore. We saw the Phoenix Suns go the star route, and you know they acquired Bradley Beal. It didn't work. They acquired Kevin Durant, Devin Booker. Didn't work. So they put up a big three and nothing. We don't want to follow that blueprint. We'd rather have interchangeable wings, some size, hopefully in the paint if we acquired that, and the right amount of guards, and we should be able to compete for a title. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Again, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, turn on the post noti bell if you already have not. Gonna wrap it up for me. I will see you guys tomorrow for pregame. I will be live. I cannot miss tomorrow's game since it's the first game that Finney-Smith and Milton will potentially play. So that's a lot of excitement. Also, follow your boy over on Playback TV, guys. Make sure to click the link. Shout out to Kimiko. If you guys want a chance at a VIP pass, be one of the first 20 to get in right before the game starts, and you'll be able to watch along. I know that a lot of these streaming sites are starting to get shut down, so that's going to be even more crucial that you guys can tap in with your boy, all right? Again, Woods, final question. Still no Woods? Well, he has been doing some well, what do they call them? Non-contact drills? But we haven't got anything other than that right now as far as that goes. So there's a chance he could be back at some point next year, early next month. So that'll be great. But same thing with Vando. I mean, I think the biggest update, we hadn't heard nothing about Vando since he had his setback. Now we're hearing he's doing non-contact drills. So that's always great. All right, guys. Wraps it up for me. Thank you guys for tapping in. Peace.